Yo, what's up, design lifers? Welcome back to my car. It is another episode of chilling in Jimmy's car, day in the life of an industrial designer after work. So, you know, one of my most favorite videos to watch on YouTube is the biggest mistakes to avoid in your 20s and 30s. And if you guys haven't seen videos like that yet, you should definitely go ahead and check those out, because I think that it's such valuable information, because these are coming from people that have gone through it, you know, and they're talking about all the major mistakes that they did, and if they could just, you know, have known about them, they would have tried to avoid them and, you know, actually be way more ahead than people that did, you know, do these mistakes. So I kind of wanted to add a little twist to this and apply it to industrial design. So this video is going to be about the 5 major mistakes that students make during school. So I've been out of school for about a year now, and looking back, I just noticed that there are some things that students do that if you didn't make these mistakes, you would be further ahead than people that actually did make these mistakes. So let's just talk about that today. So number 1, guys, is spending too much money on stuff you don't need. That's going to be the major thing that you see a lot of students do. And, you know, during this time, you're not really thinking too much about money. Obviously, you have to pay for tuition, you have to buy a lot of stuff. And so you just think that since you're a student, you'll be making money later. Maybe just like go ahead and drop a lot of money now and it'll help you out. There's this thing that students like to think when you're a student, and that is the more money you spend on higher quality stuff, the better you will be at design. And that couldn't be further from the truth. What tends to happen is I see a lot of students, they end up, you know, just buying really expensive computers because they think that they're gonna, you know, have crazy renderings, and then they buy like equipment and markers and stuff that you really don't need. You use it for that class, and then you end up not really using that stuff afterwards. That happened to me. I remember buying, you know, a pack of markers for like $100, and I only used it like 3 or 4 times, and I thought it was so cool, but then I just realized that that was just a waste of money. So try to avoid like buying really expensive stuff, especially if you know it's only for a class, or if you're not going to be using it in the future. Like anything that has to do with manual rendering, like pens and markers, like don't load yourself up on them. Only buy the things that you actually need, and don't think that you need the highest quality stuff. And you guys are going to save yourself a lot of money, because later on when you're graduated like me, a lot of this stuff isn't going to be as value as it once was as you were a student, you know. Like I remember having packs and packs of marker paper and just markers and, you know, things I really need to get rid of. So go ahead and take that to heart, because that's a big one, guys. Okay, so the next one, number 2, is not joining enough competitions and applying to scholarships, because these two are going to be a huge ego boost for you guys, especially if you win. You know, competitions are awesome, because what I found is that not a lot of people tend to submit their work to competitions. You would think that like tons of people would, and there would be super high competition, especially if there's a grand prize. But what I found is that most students, they think that, oh, well, you know, there's going to be a lot of competitions and I'm not going to win, so then they just end up not applying. And this is for real. Like, so if you just actually tried and applied, your chances of winning are so high. Like, I found that to be so true. So don't ever think that you're not good enough. And even if you're not good enough, just go ahead and do it. You're going to get better from just putting in the work and putting in the practice. So, you know, it's just a losing mentality to think that you're not going to win, so you're not going to do the work. Because if you do the work, you're going to get better, and you might not win this current competition, but you might win the next one. And sometimes scholarships are also like competitions, because you know, everybody's competing for that scholarship and people want that money, right? And so people, same thing, they think that they're not going to win it, so they don't end up even applying. You know, there's this one scholarship that is really, really high regarded at Cal State Long Beach, just the school that I went to. And that was a $6,000 scholarship. $6,000. You know, think about how much money that is. You could do a lot with $6,000. And when I heard that, I knew I wanted to win that for sure. Not only for the money, but just for being able to say that I won that, because it is the highest regarded scholarship that Cal State Long Beach has to offer. And I won it. And I knew that most of half the class didn't even bother to apply just because they didn't think that they would win. There were some very, very talented students, 100% talented students that were applying. So I was up against some stiff competition, but you know, I did my best. I made sure that everything was, you know, done and complete as best as I possibly could. And you know, that's one of my proudest moments, to be able to say that I won that Duncan Anderson scholarship. So, you know, don't cut yourself short, guys. If I thought that I wasn't good enough and I didn't do that, that would be a major memory that I wouldn't have right now, you know? That's like one of my proudest moments one of my most proud accomplishments is to say that I won the Duncan Anderson scholarship, because I was against such stiff competition. There are some people in my class that are ridiculously good, and I really had to, you know, try above and beyond what I thought I could do at the time. Okay, moving on. Number 3, and this is similar to that one, and that is not getting enough internships. So internships are very, very important, guys. Internships are the number one way you put your skills that you learned in school to use. This is real world application of the things that you learn in school. And this is really good on your part, because it kind of tells you that, you know, the things that I'm learning in school is exactly what you'll be doing in the field, and your skills, you know, you'll eventually realize that maybe you need to learn certain things, or maybe you need to get better at other things. Because even if you're a killer in school, and even if you're getting all A's, even if you're, you know, if your work is better than other classmates, what you really need to do is apply those skills in the real world to real projects, because it's a lot different than just coming up with a project yourself and then developing it, because you're going to have a lot more restrictions, and it's up to you to really learn and navigate how to design something great with all of these restrictions, like price, like requirements of this product, like whatever your boss says that he or she doesn't want, or you know, or doesn't like, so you have to make them happy. All of these things are in real world or in real world projects. And if all you know how to do is design projects that you do and that you come up with, and what you think is fun, you're kind of just doing it in an idealistic way, just like school. It's supposed to simulate the real world, but it's not necessarily the real world. And so the only way you can do that when you're a student is to get an internship, and get multiple internships. Get 2 or 3 or 4 of them, I would say. Not just one, you know. I think I had about 3 internships when I was in school. And some schools require it, my school didn't at the time, but you know, it's definitely something that is going to be very, very important to your growth. Because you know, you don't want to have absolutely no real world experience when you graduate. You just don't want to. You know, you want to have something on your resume. You want to have, you know, that you say that you worked at this place for a couple months, and you know, this is really going to make you stand out from people that just, you know, have absolutely no, you know, experience in the real world. Okay, so number 4, and this is health. So in school, you know, it can get pretty stressful, and there can be a lot on your plate, and what ends up happening is students tend to overeat. They tend to eat at weird hours in the day. They tend to eat a lot of junk food, not very healthy food, and then your activity, your workouts, exercising just goes down the drain because you just don't have a lot of time. And I would say that you definitely should keep it as a priority. I understand sometimes you might take a month or 2 off, but just always have that in the back of your mind that, you know, maybe you should eat a little better. Maybe you should work out just a little bit every day, and eventually you'll get around to do it if it is in your mind. But, you know, I'm trying to plant that seed in you guys, because you you don't want to be the one that you were like 120 pounds when you were a freshman, and then now you're like 280. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you guys might think that's crazy, but I've seen it happen to a lot of people. You gain a lot of weight throughout school, especially if you don't pay attention to it. You know, naturally we just tend to gain weight over time, but school kind of compounds that and makes it worse. And you know, you always want to have your health in check, because most people, what I find is that they just tend to take it for granted in a way, and you don't really appreciate your health until you don't have it anymore. And when you don't have it, you're completely miserable. Like, health, that'll be the only thing that you think of when you're older and you're really, really unhealthy, and you're taking all these medicine, all these pills, and you can't focus on anything else. You can't, you know, enjoy your time because you're always feeling terrible and feeling bad. So health is a huge one, guys. It starts in school. You know, you're young still. Just try to always keep that up. All right, so the very, very last one, I don't want to make this too long. We're already 11 minutes in, but this is really just enjoying your time as a student, because this is a huge one that I've noticed that students do, is they think that, you know, oh, well, this is so stressful and this is so hard and there's so much to do. Honestly, guys, when you're a student, it's the easiest thing, because when you are a professional, there's so much more weight on your shoulders. Now people take you more seriously. Now you have to work 8 hours a day, and you know, you gotta do a lot more things, more responsibility. And it's not to say that it's bad. I love being professional, but it would be really nice to go back and be a student again, because, you know, being a student, it's really fun. You get to see all your friends, hang out with them, socialize. You know, you have that when you are a graduate, but not as much, and it's not as like free and loose, and the mindset is different. And so I really want you guys to just enjoy your time as a student, you know, like this time in your life shouldn't be something that is stressful and hard, and that when you look back you think it was terrible. This time should be something that you really, really enjoyed and it was fun, and it should be the most fun. And if you're not having fun as a student, you know, then maybe industrial design isn't for you, because, you know, I loved being an industrial design student. I loved being around people. I loved being around friends, and I really, really miss that. And so I remembered when I was going through school, though, I thought this at the same time. I thought, you know, I really need to document these moments. I really need to remember and cherish these times when I am hanging out with good friends, because, you know what? Once you graduate, guys, people go off and do, you know, they live their own lives, they move away, and you're not going to see them as much as you think you would. Even if you guys are really, really, really good friends, you know, life happens. And, you know, once you start having free time as a professional, that free time is usually dedicated to either side projects or, you know, hanging out with your family, or just resting and just spending time with yourself. And so it's really, really difficult to end up, you know, hanging out with friends later on. You know, obviously you can, but personally for me, it's really, really hard. So the time that you do have it, guys, just really, really cherish it and really, really enjoy it. And I think that the more you enjoy it too, like on a real, true way, the better you will do at design, because you're more happy and you're more loose. And if you're enjoying it, you're comfortable and you're confident and you're not nervous and stressed, you know? Like, enjoy the process, guys. And if you do badly on a project, if you miss a deadline, you know, it's not that big of a deal in school as it is when you're a professional. Like, if you miss a deadline, it's not the end of the world, guys. You know, if you ended up failing a class and you stay a little bit behind, it's not the end of the world, guys. Just do your best and get back up there. And this is coming from somebody that has done it. All right, guys, that's about it. I hope you learned something. I hope you really took a lot of the stuff that I had to heart, because, you know, this is stuff that I really wish I knew when I was a student, and I would like to share my knowledge with you guys. That's the whole point of this YouTube channel. All right, guys, that is about it. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. Also, leave a comment down below if there's another topic you'd like me to talk about. Also, hit that subscribe button so that my videos come right to you guys. And don't forget to hit that little bell button while you're at it, so that you for sure will get notified when I upload my next video. And also, Trying to change lanes. I did a really cool boat sketch, and it's uploaded onto Design Life Brand's YouTube channel, so go ahead and check that out. It's a second episode of the series, a sketchbook series, so check that out, guys. If you are interested, the links should be down below. Okay, all right, I hope you guys have been having a good week. I will catch you in the next video. Peace.